And live stream on Facebook. All right, it's going to Power Hour go live. Let me know when you get the notification. Should be good to go.
All right, guys, we are live. We are live with Empower Hour on the webinar and on Facebook Live. We welcome you guys tonight. It is the middle of the summer, and if you're showing up for your business tonight and tuning into Empower Hour, you know you're going to get some good training. We are in the mindset mode for the last couple of weeks, guys. We're really tuning into what mindset looks like. I was sharing with Paul and our team on our Saturday call that I heard that you can get all the tools for success that you want, but if you don't have success in your mind, you'll never be able to create it, right? So we know that we have to give you the tools that actually give you the success that you're looking for, that can lead you to that success. We're going back, I don't know, Paul, for you, how many years that was for you. I don't actually know your story of when you had that mindset shift for yourself. But for me, I'm looking back 13 years in network marketing and going, I was not the same person. I was not that girl that was able to understand mindset and success and how to create it and how important it is on how you think, what you speak, what you're creating for yourself every single day. Paul, when was it for you?
I got to be honest, I think it happened in stages for me. It wasn't just some big epiphany. I think when I was younger and I was in sports, I learned a couple of things, and you pick up little techniques along the way. I think then when I was starting to my first career, my first job, whatever, when I was in construction, I kind of did that. Then I got into payroll. So for me, I think it was was the opposite of Johnny Appleseed, right? So the story of Johnny Appleseed is that he would have a sack over his shoulder with all these apple seeds, and he would go through the forest and he'd plant apple trees, and then all of a sudden he created this big apple orchard. The opposite was me. Is as I was going along, I picked up mindset techniques. I wasn't really into like listening to YouTube. Didn't exist back then. There were books, and there was Jim Rohn, and there was Zig Ziglar, and I'd pick up little things along the way, and then you'll go to sales seminars. So for me, it probably took me longer than most people to collect my mindset training, my coaching. A lot of it I didn't even realize I was getting, right? You just kind of pick it up on as osmosis. And I think that's why these calls are so valuable, because what took me 20, 30 years to build or to learn or to institute or to implement, I think people can get it done in a couple of years here,
Yeah.
if they really try.
Absolutely. And that's really, guys, when you tune into the Empower Hour call, we are giving you leaders building now, giving you the strategies, the tools, the mindset, the everything to allow you to not make the same mistakes that we made. I made
Right.
way more than Paul because I've been in way more companies than Paul has, but I did. I made mistakes and I had to learn along the way and I had to teach myself. So we're here now to show you guys like, hey, there's an easier way. And we want you to come and be a sponge. And no matter what company you're in, whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter. We're here tonight as industry teachers, leaders, just pouring into the industry. And
You
that's
know,
what
I yeah, and I think that people don't realize how important it is. They'll worry about training, how to make a phone call, who to call, how to buy lists. I got to build a webinar, I got to build a funnel, I got to build this, I got to build that to build their business, when mindset is so critical. I mean, even some of the metaphysical stuff, I think on one of the Saturday calls we were talking about, affirmations and things. And affirmations are really mindset primers. or where you sit back and you prime yourself by saying these affirmations. And affirmations, one of my sayings is done is better than perfect. One of my affirmations is get them done, get them out of the way, even as corny as they may sound, or when you don't feel like doing them. I'm behind on my afternoon. I do a 3-6-9 combination of affirmations. I say three things 3 times in the morning. I say three things 6 times in the afternoon, and I say 3 different things at 9 times in the evening before I go to bed. There's a little thing about that if you want to look into frequency and the 3-6-9 and all of that stuff. But if you do it consistently, you will see change, and you will see change almost instantly, like the next day, for wealth and for health and for things coming into your life. It's amazing because it's putting you in a positive mindset or forcing you into a positive mindset. We're already 9 minutes in. I don't know if we want to kind of get right to your training and because I think you're going to be able to coach people on what's coming up the next couple of weeks. You're muted.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I'm just trying to move things here. Hang on.
Well, are you working on your big monitor or are you working just on a laptop?
Nope, I'm on my laptop.
Okay.
I have to move that. Slideshow. All right, can you see it?
I have to look because I have 2 screens running right now, so I gotta. Yes, I can. Oh, nice slide.
All right, thank you.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. All right, very neon-y.
All right, guys, we're talking recode to rise. Like
You had to
right
explain to me
now.
what you meant by recode.
Recode yourself. We're in the middle of summer right now. What do you want? What do you guys
Right.
really want going into the end of the year? Right? We're in the middle of summer. Right now in Canada, we're in our long weekend. I know there's not a long weekend in the US in the middle of August or in the beginning of August, but we do. We have our August long, we call it. And it's like recode to rise. What do you actually want? What do you actually feel going into the end of the year? What's going on in your head? What's going on in your business? Who are you touching in your business? What is your team doing? All of that stuff. You need to get focused and grounded, guys. This is about, when we talk about mindset, it's about strategy, discipline, the boring stuff. We're going to talk about all that stuff today. Why strategy fails without identity shift.
Correct. So many people, so many of you, you've been on so many of our trainings and you haven't really taken action yet. It's because you have to change who you are. You have to change the way you think.
Yeah.
Because if you have all of this knowledge and you make all your notes, I love people, when we do some of the other calls where you can kind of see everybody on the call and you see everybody scribbling and looking down and they got their pens in their hand and they're making copious notes. And then there's still no change in the business. It's because they haven't had the identity shift yet. And you don't believe that either you deserve it or you just don't believe you're that person, right?
Yeah.
When we're all that person, we all want some level of success, whatever our definition is of that.
Yeah. And I love that little line at the bottom, guys. You don't need more how, you need to become the who. And Paul and I, like, we take so much pride with our team in teaching them the how, right?
Right.
Like,
The
we're
nuts and
like,
bolts.
this strategy, that strategy, here's a new video, pop-up training. We do all of this stuff. But the in between, if it's not there, guys, you're never going to get to the success level that you're hoping to get to, even if you want it.
Even
Even
if you
if you're
want.
saying that's what I want, if you don't believe it, you cannot achieve it.
You cannot. And it's funny because I was so critical about, I watched a lot of trainers and I would tap into things and it was always so much about the who you need to become and who you are. And I'm like, what this industry needs? It needs more nuts and bolts. And I realized when they did the nuts and bolts, put this together, like, reading instructions on to put a model together when you're a kid. I mean, it's more of a boy thing than a girl thing, but when you put your, models together and you're following all the instructions and to realize that the mindset is critical because if you don't have the patience to put a model together, it's really, so it's more about what your desire is and does that excite you? Does it calm you? Does it, so understand that the mindset is so critical. And I don't know who the hell I was talking to the other day, some other major player. And we were talking about mindset. I'm like, yeah, it's like 80 to 90% mindset and, 10 to 20% skill set,
It really is.
And he said, if that,
If that. No,
if
I know.
that.
I feel like I was on that call with you because he
You
said,
were on the call. I don't know who we were talking to. I don't know if
I
it
don't know who it was.
was Curtis or Lisa Grossman
Yes, it was
or
Curtis. It was
it
Curtis,
was Curtis.
100%.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, guys, we're going to get into this tonight. We always have 5 slides, Paul. There is some depth to these slides. I feel like some of the slides could be a whole freaking training on
Yep.
their own. I was creating it and I'm like, oh my gosh, we could
Well,
go.
then people should take a picture of it. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah,
then rip us off and say, "Hey, this is my training," which it's really not. It's
rip us
Angel's
off.
training. You
That's
know?
right. So you don't have a strategy problem, you have an identity crisis.
Absolutely. How many times have you said, "I can't do this. This is not for me. I'm not that person." That's an identity crisis.
Mm-hmm. You can hand someone the same system, scripts, mentorship as a top leader, and they'll still fail if their identity doesn't align with success.
And this, I just that paragraph alone tells you why this is a complex slide that could be a complex training. It's because there's limiting beliefs mentioned in there, there's lack of training in there, there's lack of leadership in there, and all the components you need to go from "I've never done this before" to "I'm a multiple 7-figure earner" or in there in that one purple. And I see how your colors align with your neon first slide there, by the way. I am realizing that. So you hand someone the same systems or scripts. Well, if you don't deliver the scripts with a certain level of confidence or belief, when people tell me, "Hey, Paul, I'm pitching this person and they're this, and this, and what video should I send them?" And my answer for 7 years has been exactly the same. Which video do you like? Which is the one that excites you the most? And the reason I tell them that, or which script do you like the most? That's the one I need you to use. Not because it's going to appeal to the prospect, but it's going to create the most excitement and the most belief in the person sharing it. That's critical, is that you believe in what you're doing. So if you hate the video you're sending, even though it's a perfect fit for your prospect, it's not going to happen, because that's where you go into the metaphysical, right? The mindset, the whole belief system, the affirmations, the law of attraction comes into play there. If you send something out and you wish you didn't send out that, you're like, I don't know if that script was right, or I should have edited a few thousand more times to do it, it's going to fall flat because the energy behind it isn't there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I know the gallery can't talk to us right now because they
No,
can't.
they can't. And I would love to have them come out, even at the end or whatever we want to
Okay.
do. But if
All
we
right.
have time, I'm telling you, these
Yeah,
slides
we
got
bring you guys up. Just tell us how awful these slides are. That's all.
or you can do that. But when you're looking at this, and I'm looking at this right now, and I think back to, 10 years ago, I had tools, I had things I could share. I didn't have the belief.
Right.
My self-image was not of success. My self-image was of, I'm going to do what those people are doing because I know they're doing it and they're creating success, but I didn't have the belief in myself. So if you have tools without belief, guys, you have stagnation.
Right.
And that's
So there,
a
I
fact.
see my quotas there, and it's true. Most of you have plenty of tools. Most companies out there, product companies, service companies, have plenty of tools, and you have apps, and you have videos, and you have scripting, and you have, even if it's not produced by your company, it's produced by some of your leadership, or even if you take from other companies ideas from them and techniques or whatever, or you build your own funnels. It doesn't matter. It's never for a lack of tools. It's your self-image. It's just not built that way. And that's what you need to work on. You need to work on that you do deserve this and you can do it. And
Yeah.
there are people who never want to do it, and then they shouldn't be in the business. Some of it falls on us where we're recruiting the wrong people. When you get into some of our previous trainings about who your prospect profile is, this business isn't for everybody. What is it? I did a thing about the movie, not the movie Remy. What is the movie Ratatouille? There was a movie by Disney, Ratatouille, and the theme of the thing is anyone can cook. it doesn't mean that anyone really can cook well. It's that a great cook can come from anywhere. So it's a really cute movie, and I did a whole presentation on it, but it's a matter of understanding that anyone can if they're willing to do the work and the desire and the build.
Right.
If you're not, or you're trying to drag someone kicking, screaming into your business, why would you put that kind of work on yourself when there's so many other people out there that are looking for an opportunity?
Mhm. And it has to come from that identity, guys. You have to start to see yourself as a Paul, an angel, and whoever you're looking up to, getting training from. It doesn't matter. Who are you identifying with? Who
Right.
can you say that I can, for today, for the next week, for the next 30 days, pretend I'm that person with their success, with that belief, with that idea that I can actually create that? Because if you have the tools, every company pretty much right now has the tools. But guys, strategy amplifies identity.
That's
Not
such a powerful line. Don't stay there a little bit, okay? And I know we're probably going to be late on slides. Strategy amplifies identity, because that whole, remember the whole imposter syndrome and the
yeah,
fake it till you make it crowd? The problem is that doesn't work. This works better than fake it till you make it. If you have
yeah,
a plan, if you have a strategy, if you have DMOs, daily method of operations, if you have techniques, that's going to build your identity, because you're working from a sense of strength and a sense of knowledge and a sense of confidence. It's never the other way around. We used to be on Clubhouse years ago. That's how Angel and I first met.
yeah.
And we would have people come on and we would know within seconds. That was the thing about it. Okay. You didn't have a chance to type it out, and it wasn't ChatGPT at the time. People would come on and want to comment, talk, or train just for the sake of talking. Right? How many times you guys would come to me and I'm like, Paul, I got nothing. I got nothing, because I'm not gonna share something that I really can't add value to. And
Mhm.
people will learn to respect you more than just saying some nonsense that the leaders or the people who've really done this before, the people with experience, you expose yourself so quickly. So sometimes it's good to just make sure that you have a strategy, you have your DMO, you have a piece of paper in front of you that you can refer to.
Yeah.
When I do these large presentations and I'm speaking and I have slides, I don't necessarily, on a large stage, I don't have everything written out that I'm going to say, but I'll have a bullet point. Tools without belief equals stagnation, right? So that would be up on a slide, and that would trigger, like you have here, you have these bullet points, and then Angel and I could riff off of them.
Right.
That has to come from inside you. That's where your identity is, but it doesn't come without preparation. It doesn't come without experience. I love, if you're doing your calls, that you have a cheat sheet in front of you. What are the 5 things you need to accomplish on a presentation call, or an introduction call of your business, or to prospect someone? And what do you need to gather from them? What information? So you should have 5 points that you need to make about your business, and 5 pieces of information or so that you have to gather from them to see if they're even a prospect. And you could play with them. If you have these 10 points you want to make on a phone call, and you have the first 5 were about you and your product, and the second 5 are about them, interchange them, work with them. But it's okay to have a cheat sheet. Even the president looks down at a script.
Mhm.
Okay. Go ahead, Angel. I'm sorry.
No, no, and honestly, guys, when you look at the why it matters, until you believe you are the kind of person who wins, no blueprint will work. But guess what? You have to
Wow.
start somewhere, right? You have to start with some sort of a little bit of a blueprint, a
Right.
little bit of one for yourself. We were talking, guys, this is a progression. Empower Hour is a progression. If you haven't realized that this week you're on a progression and a mindset journey with us, then you're not getting it, right?
Right.
But that's where we're leading you, and we have amazing stuff we're going to go into coming up in the next couple of weeks. But Eve, what do you want to say?
No, because if you go back and you watch these things in succession on
Yeah.
lionprideacademy.com, you have an amazing training course. But here's what's funny and why you need to refer back to them. There's somebody out there tonight saying, what the hell are these two people talking about? Like, this makes no sense to me. I don't get it. I thought network marketing was easy. I thought direct sales was easy. I'm an affiliate. What do I need to know about building people? I just want to sell them this item and then I'm going to collect my money. Then one day you're going to go back on the training and I say, holy crap. That's what they were talking about. That's why I can't get to the next level. That's what I'm not understanding.
Yeah.
Okay. It takes a while to become a great surgeon.
Yeah.
It takes a while to become a great plumber, right? It takes a while to learn how to find a leak in a swimming pool.
So long.
But you learn to develop techniques, right? And find the leak. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead. Sorry, that was an inside joke.
Guys, no, and what we're saying here is that we're giving you the blueprint. We want you to attach yourself to this. When we talk about things, even when we talked about, I don't know if it was on Empower Hour, if it was one of our Saturday calls, guys, we have team calls, we do Empower Hour. I don't know what we talk about where, but Paul shared his 369 strategy that he just shared with you. And I not only built on that, so I have my 369, but I'm doing Psalm 23. I'm doing communion every single day. I added on to that to just be like, hey, you know what? If I can do that, I can take myself to the next level. Let's do 30 minutes, not just 15. Right. And when I do it, it excels me to a mindset shift that I'm in a vibration where I'm just like, nothing's impossible. Right. And that's where we want to take you. We want to take you to the nothing is impossible vibration, no matter what company you're with, no matter what you're doing, what you're selling. We don't care. We just want to get you to that place. This is a mastermind.
And you come to us with that positive energy, it just makes the whole
Absolutely.
thing, everybody does better.
Yeah.
You know?
So let's get to the second slide. We still have 3 more after this, Paul. And this isn't even the good one. There's still another one. Decision over motivation. Get decided, then watch what happens. This is not the basic decision training, guys. This is like, do you want it or not?
Right.
And how many years have you said, yes, you do? How many months have you said, yes, you do? How many people have you said, yes, you do to? And you're here, right? Stop waiting for motivation. Success begins the moment you make a non-negotiable decision about who you are and what you're building.
So let me give them an exercise.
Yes.
Every one of you had New Year's resolutions and they failed, and some of them failed the next day. Some of them failed the same night. I'm giving up drinking, right? And then pop, you pop into champagne and you're like, all of a sudden, you're like, I'll start tomorrow, right? We do that start tomorrow. We've walked away from New Year's resolutions. We've walked away from other decisions that we made. I'm going to finally organize something. I need you to go back and think of the last time you truly made a decision, whether it's about the person you married or the person you are in a relationship with or the car you bought or you didn't think you were going to afford the better car and you upgraded. Whatever it made a decision to go on that vacation, whatever it was, I need you to go back, and I don't care if you go back to when you were 12 years old and you decided to build a ramp and jump your bicycle over the sidewalk. I need you to go back when you made that decision. And I want to go back to the bicycle because there were kids that they would get the bicycle, they get all revved up and they getting ready to go. And then the second before they hit the ramp, they panic and they slow down, right? And what happens? Those are the kids who fall. And we didn't wear helmets back then. Okay, so there was no helmets, there was no nothing. But when you committed to it, if the ramp held up too, by the way, cinder blocks, plywood, boy, you guys out there know what I'm talking about. I'm sure there's a girl equivalent where you got to commit to it. You've made a decision. That's the decision. Most of you, when you're pedaling that bike really hard, you get right up before the ramp, you panic a little bit, and you either stop pedaling or you put the brakes on and you wind up crashing. And those are the people who make that full decision, committed in, and just barrel up regardless of what's going to happen. You may land a little wobbly, right? But everybody's applauding you. and you feel good about yourself. So I want to go to that decision, or the decision you finally made to lose weight. So many people, you made a decision to lose weight, and then all of a sudden, well, it's somebody's birthday, I got to have a piece of cake. No, when did you make the decision? And now what I want you to do is remember that decision. I want you to think about the decision right now, close your eyes and think about how it physically felt.
Yeah.
Because if you don't make that decision and have that feeling, it's not going to stick. And forget about willpower, because willpower fades. It's the decision that gets you there. Go ahead, Angel. I went too far on that, but
No, no, that was so good. And you reminded me of something I was listening to the other day, and I'm trying so hard to remember the woman that was speaking, but she was saying that you get to the point, like say when you're riding down that hill when you were a kid on your bike and you're just going for it, there's a no matter what moment, right? It's like
sure.
you're not going to stop, you're not going to hit those brakes, you're going to fly through that intersection and you're just going to go. And hopefully all of us did that. I did that as a kid. I'm sure you did, Paul. I feel like you didn't have any brakes or a freaking seat. But
Well, easy. I didn't have a seat. That would be painful. But I had the bike that you had to get off and put the front wheel between your two legs and readjust the handlebars because they would twist. You know what I mean? I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
yes,
Like the
yes.
handlebars wouldn't be aligned. Like the wheel would be straight, but the handlebars would be sideways a little bit because I hit hard or hit the curb. So I'd have to get off, put the front wheel between my knees, and then like gradually like twist the handlebars back into into shape.
Right.
Um,
But this
but
woman
yeah, go ahead.
talking about that moment, right? And I was relating it to our team, our business, and I'm like, how do we get people to that point where it's like, no matter what, you're just going to blast through that moment, right? You've made such a decision. You're
It's
so on that bike, you're pedaling right through. And it's like, I don't care if I make it, if I roll out, if I'm in the hospital tomorrow, I'm doing this, right?
right.
And at the end of it, there's that celebration.
Of course, there's the celebration. And you know what it usually is? I did it. I
Yeah.
did it. And that
I'll do
creates
it
the
again.
confidence.
And I'll do it again.
Exactly right. Like when I learned that, I don't know if you know this about, you're a really great driver, or, car driver, you're into cars, but when you get into a tight turn, right? You take your foot off the gas entering the turn, but the minute you get into the turn, you floor it again, and actually that acceleration process helps you carve that turn, right? And most people don't realize that. They'd be like, no, 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 I got to slow down into a turn. You slow down into the turn, but once you're in the curve, you got to really floor it, and you'll see how great the car responds. And it's counterintuitive. So what the point I'm trying to make is making a decision, being committed to things sometimes is counterintuitive. Let me speed up before I go over the ramp, right? Let me not use the brakes as I'm going down this hill, right?
Yeah.
Because you want to be able to use the momentum of the hill to go down. So, and I'm sure we could think of a whole bunch of other analogies, but it's already getting late. So,
I know. So we have here, guys, people don't change when it gets easier. They change when it's no longer acceptable to stay the same.
always the pain of what you're experiencing now is greater than the pain of starting something new or the fear of starting something new.
Yeah.
That's it. That's a
Most
great
of
quote
that
too, by
I'm
the way.
not decided. Decision isn't a feeling, it's a cutting. I love this line. Let's stay here for 30 seconds. Decision isn't a feeling, it's a cutting away of alternatives.
It's pushing the cake away.
Pushing the cake away for
Yeah, so
sure.
because you're on the diet, right? You're like, well, just one more piece of cake before I start my diet. No, push the cake away. The sooner you start, the faster you'll reach make the decision.
And alternatives aren't the 9 to 5 that's getting you through that, you're going to look back on at December 31st this year and say, "Oh no, this is the year. 2026 is the year." No, it's not. Why can't this last quarter be the year? Be the time. Be when you decide there's no other alternative. Be the time when, and we have celebrated Alma, right? It was Alma in June, July of last year. She said, "You know what? This is it. I'm going to tune in. I'm going to do this. I've made the decision." 1 year from now, guys, that woman has an incredible business.
Hmm. You actually see it happening with people, right?
Yeah.
We can tell when that moment clicks for them, like with Danny and Teresa. Well, Teresa's had the experience way before, but you see it with people when when that change happens, it's obvious to us. It's really obvious to us. And sometimes it takes years for people to do that. Sometimes it doesn't happen overnight for people, but when you see it, we could actually physically see a change and you could really even hear a change.
Yeah.
And I always used to always say, let me coach, help you, and train you until you're ready to fire me. And what that means, oh, I'll never fire you. No, but when the phone calls and the questions become less and less, and what should I say turns into this is what I said. Remember
Yeah.
that, Lisa? Remember that, Danny? When it goes, what should I say came to this is what I said. I couldn't reach you, so I told him this,
Yeah.
to I just closed somebody. That's the progression we're looking for, right? Fire us, right? Because we always know there's going to be another level. And this is what I want to talk about. Decided people don't need constant external inspiration. I thought this was one of your quotes. Willpower, all of these things. You might be on this call or watching this recording and you may feel good about it, excited, like, oh my God, these guys are so great. I like them. What you're doing is you're borrowing your positive feelings from what we're coaching you on instead of experiencing it from the business that you're doing.
Mhm.
So even though training and coaching and all of this stuff is very important to you, we're also filling a need that your business isn't filling. There's those little feel good moments that you're experiencing, like, oh, that was a really cool thing. And I'm going to write that down. I'm going to say that the next time I talk to somebody. That's all good. But we want you to be able to take this motivation. We want to take this decision-making process, and we want you to do it so that you get your inspiration, that external inspiration from the business you're building, from your new customers, from your new distributors, from your relationship with corporate. Whatever you're going to do, that's where we really want you to find it. This is a quick fix and it's a feel-good moment, right? But there's that dynamic. We love you regardless of whether you're building or not at this moment. But how about getting that external inspiration from the people that you're actually doing it with?
Yeah.
Right? So decided people do lead themselves. Yes, they come back for training and coaching. What about, or maybe they experience a failure or a setback or a lull in their business. And then you come back and you get refreshed. Nothing wrong with that. But get your motivation, get your excitement, get that good, feel good feeling from your prospects, your leads, and the
Mhm.
people that you're closing.
And we have a why it matters there, guys. The shift from trying to decided is the moment your business stops leaking energy. I leaked energy for years. The trying season for me was trying, guys. And that's why we're here. It's like once you can make that shift and be like, I'm not trying anymore, I'm decided. I am decided. It's DECIDE or DECIDED, right? You're decided. Put it up on your freaking post-it notes that we tell you to do. Put it up in front of your face. Put it up on your whiteboard. Put it up everywhere. You're decided. It's decided. It is done. That is a
That's your
done
affirmation.
decision, right? Like that
Hmm.
is done. I am here. I am going here. This is how I'm going here. You are done. You're decided. It doesn't matter if anybody believes you. They don't have to support you. They don't have to do anything to back you up. If you have decided up here, it is done.
That's why affirmations are so important to be in that you've already received. Because if you say to the universe, I will be a millionaire, the universe is saying, okay, well, whenever I get around to it, I'll get around to it,
Right.
versus I am a millionaire, right? In fact, if the only time you're ever going to fake it till you make it is in your affirmations, because you have to already have received it and it'll come, because otherwise it's not going to know. The timing is not going to be on your timing. It's going to be on the universe's timing, because you're not giving it specifics, and the universe responds to specifics. So if I am decided, it's already done. Even if you're not 100%, be 100% in your words, and then your actions and your mindset will follow.
Yeah. I'll share a very like small little story. for you guys about manifestation and actually what the power of our minds have. And if you're a faith-based person or you're not, it doesn't matter, right? Like it works the same way no matter what you believe or what you don't. One time when my daughter was sick, she loves llamas, right? And she was sick and she's in on the couch, and I went to Walmart, and I always buy her stuffed animals when she's sick. This is like a few years ago, so not anymore. She's 18 now. But back then, she was like 13, 14. I buy her stuffed animals. I went to Walmart, and you know how they have that like wall of stuffed animals. And I was like, nope, 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 nope. And I was like, I want a llama. I turned around and looked, and there was this
You
llama
do that all the time.
with bells, and she had jewelry on, and I was like, there you are. I literally picked her out of the universe. And we have that ability, guys. I know that's such a ridiculous story, but we did that. For me, was confirmation of manifestation. And if we can do that with a llama, with a stuffed animal for our kid, what could we create if we actually believed and decided it's done, and this is the life I want to pick out for myself, and these are the people I want to work with, and these are the leaders I'm looking for, and this is the team I'm going to build. You can pick it.
Yes, you can.
It's there for the picking.
Yes, you can.
This one, Paul, oh, this is my favorite slide, even though it's not as pretty as the others, but the invisible ceiling, breaking the subconscious rules you live by. You're
Ooh,
only
that
allowed
was
to
that
grow
was
as
a little
much as
powerful.
you're only allowed to grow as much as your nervous system feels safe to.
True, right? Yeah,
That's
that's your actual ceiling, your capacity of your nervous system. And you're going to say, what do you have the guts to do? It's really your nervous system, right? What makes you get the heebie-jeebies? What makes your ability, where do you have those emotional triggers? That's your ceiling. It's not the market. It's not your upline. It's not us. It's not the training. It's not your audience. It's not the people you're talking to. It's you and how you feel. But go ahead. I know you got a lot on this one.
no, I just feel like I feel like this one slide, when I was writing this up, Paul, I was like, oh, me and Paul could like spend an hour on this slide. Every time you hit a plateau, it's not business mechanics, it's subconscious sabotage.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I will tell you, the two of us, sometimes you could lead into that sabotage mode a little bit. I'm like, hey, 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 hey,
Yeah.
right? So everyone's guilty. Even if you imagine if you do what we do, coaching, training, researching, do our own training. Look, a lot of this stuff, the best way to learn something is to teach it to others, right? So there's a reason that we do what we do because it keeps us on our game. But there's so much of the sabotage that I see going on. And I get it more than Angel gets it, but I'll have people, the haters or the whatever, and I'm looking at this person literally blaming me for what they're not doing, right? Or saying that it's disruptive or whatever it may be. So, and you see it happen in real time. And in the beginning, it becomes, you can be aggravated at it, you can get angry, you can get into fights with it, or you could realize, wow, I'm learning about that person. I'm learning about that person and where they're looking externally for why things aren't working out for them instead of looking internally. Why? Because the threshold of that nervous system is really, really too low. They get triggered very quickly. So there's a lot of stuff to do. And here's something I will tell you, that a decision I made a while ago is that depending on where you are in the business and how your business is growing, determines how much social work you're able to do in this business. Okay. We're there to help the people who want to be helped, not try to drag the people who have so much emotional baggage. Because look, we're not psychiatrists, you
Mhm.
know, we're not. We're more like a Sherpa guiding you up a mountain, right? It doesn't mean, look, I don't know if you've ever seen video from Mount Everest. They all go up with guides, but a lot of climbers never come back down. There are literally bodies on Mount Everest just sitting there, and they put they put things and flags and everything to mark where the body is, because a lot of people don't make it back down regardless of the guide that they have. It's one thing to believe you can do it or want to do it. It's another thing to do what it takes to get it done and to be able to come back down the mountain. So when you hit a plateau, realize what's going on emotionally. And I tell this story about Elon Musk, and I don't know if you know, but when Elon Musk was running Tesla and it was doing really, really good, and then all of a sudden he started leaking out information about the financial condition of the company prior. Now he's an officer of a company, and there's certain things you can say to the open markets, and there's certain things you cannot say because you manipulate the market, right? It's like what they're going on through in Congress right now, where they don't want Congress people to be able to trade stocks because they know that they're all making millions of dollars on these military stocks and everything because they know what's coming. They're writing the laws. Hey, we're going to invade Iraq. We're going to invade Iran. Let me buy Raytheon because I know we're going to be buying a ton of crap from them. So, having that little bit of information is dangerous. So when Elon was going through and he leaked this information, he was actually removed as the CEO of his own company for a short period of time. The board of directors said, you can't run the company right now. That was the slap on the wrist he got. And then he went on Joe Rogan, and even though pot is legal, he was smoking a joint on Joe Rogan. Now, there's people who invested millions of dollars. There's pension funds. There's union, the teachers union. All of these people were investing in Tesla stock as part of the retirement plans. So while pot is legal, there were people who felt, why is he smoking pot on the Joe Rogan show? It was a little irresponsible. Or let's say somebody like my dad, who's like, that they just don't understand this whole thing, and whether it's legal or not, it's not something you want to see. So what does that mean? It means that there were some limiting beliefs or a plateau and subconscious sabotage that happened with someone, even as much as the most wealthiest guy in the world, is going to hit those plateaus. They're going to hit that subconscious sabotage. So if Elon can fall prey to it, what about you building your business? What about if you worked in a regular 9 to 5, right? And now you start your little side hustle business and you've never done that before. It could be overwhelming. You're going to hit plateaus. So if Elon can suffer from that,
Yeah.
you're definitely going to suffer from it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people even realize some of the damage that did. And look, I think it's cool. You want to smoke a joint, smoke a joint. You want to do a gummy, you want to have a drink, that's fine. But you got to realize who you are and where you do it and who you do it in front of.
Yeah.
Especially if you run a multi-billion-dollar publicly traded company and there's people from 6 years old to 90 years old investing in you who may not see it the way you see it. Ooh, did I bring the room down?
So guys, join our gummy company. No, I'm just kidding. Your financial thermostat is real. Where you've set your level of what's acceptable for you as your actual peak financial goal, that is real. Can you up it? Can you level that up? Can you believe that you deserve that? I love the story that you shared about Elon because it's like, guys, do you even think about it that way? Do you think about pushing out the norm? Do you think about being out of the box? Do you think about who cares what other people think? What do you want? What are your goals? What does your team need? How are you building your team's checks? What do they need? That's your focus. It's not about what people are thinking or perceiving or doing any of those things, but your financial thermostat is real. Beliefs you picked up in childhood still run your adult business. And I want to share something, guys. I shared this with Paul and Peg. I saw a woman on Facebook. She was like, I have this prompt from my friend, and if you really want to know who you are and what you need to do and how you need to change your life, this is the prompt. But if ChatGPT doesn't know you, it's not going to work. But if you want to hear it, here's the prompt. And people were like, oh my God, this is insane. I didn't want to hear that. I have so much work to do. So I copied the prompt. I put it in my ChatGPT and I was like, okay. I sent it to Peg and Paul. Peg did it. Guys, if you want to know what's really blocking you in your life, ask me for the prompt. Message me. You know how to get a hold of me. Just say, send me the prompt. I will send it to you at your own caution. It's a very detailed into your childhood, into your whole entire life prompt, but it'll give you honesty. So how does that still run your adult business? What things are you identifying with that are affecting
So,
your business now?
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, you're on a roll. So I did are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. I did a recording a long time ago. I just went on YouTube. It's not there anymore. I got to maybe re-record it. That exaggeration is a gateway drug. So we talked about limiting beliefs. We talked about your thermostat being real. The beliefs you picked up in childhood will still run in your adult business. So most limiting beliefs are built in times of exaggeration. When we tell a story, we exaggerate. I once caught a fish this big, and each time you tell a story, the fish gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? So those exaggerations come in to become limiting beliefs,
Mhm.
right? Because you know the fish wasn't that big. I mean, maybe the fish was this big, or, most people when they go to Las Vegas will tell you about when they won, but they won't tell you about the 50 times that they lost. And more people lose in Las Vegas than win. So exaggeration is a gateway drug. You buy an ice cream cone, you leave the store, you're walking out on the sidewalk, you lick your ice cream cone, you drop it, hits the ground, and you're gonna say, a lot of people say something, oh my God, this always happens to me. And you're like, really? You've dropped every ice cream cone you've ever bought? Of
Right.
course not. But when you're layering in these limiting beliefs that, oh my God, this always happens to me, those exaggerations, when we're telling a story and we go through, and or telling a joke. I love to jokes that you really have to act out. And when you do that and the person's angry or happy or sad or whatever, and you're acting that out, those feelings become real and they become scars and they come building up. So what I'm going to tell you is, forget about all of the limiting beliefs you currently have. Start with not generating any new ones, but not exaggerating. A lot of people say, well, how much money are you making in the business? And you'll make up a fake story, right, about what you're making because you don't want to be, all of a
Right.
sudden that's going to live with you. And every time that comes up, I mean, I know people who joined the business when they finally made the number that they used to lie about, they actually found relief. Don't say you're a 6 or 7 figure earner if you're not, you were never a 6 or 7 figure earner.
Mhm.
Right? I know you think it's good, but it will be obvious, especially people who really are 6 and 7 figure earners and made 6 and 7 figures in the business. It's pretty obvious the techniques and the skill set you need. So be careful because exaggeration is a gateway drug and it builds limiting beliefs. I can get a little bit deeper into it, but it's a whole training onto itself, and
This is
and
a
uh,
whole training. This whole slide is a whole training.
it
That's
is. Yep.
when I was doing it, I'm like, me and Paul could like stay here for 60 minutes easily,
I think
easily,
we are.
easily.
We only got 10
No,
minutes left.
I know, but we really could, guys. This is
And
so
the nervous system expansion, you don't realize how resilient your nervous system is or how integrated it's into your success system. Where your nervous system, you get butterflies in your stomach if you see somebody you're attracted to, or you're going to meet a celebrity, or you're getting on ready to make a phone call and the nerves kick in. Whatever it may be,
do
your
it.
nervous system, not only do it, realize that your nervous system is just reacting to the conditioning that you set for it. The fear is usually greater than the experience. That's why you put the brakes on. Oh, see, we went full circle. It's called a circle back. We're circling back to the jump or going down the hill when you're a kid on your bicycle. It's
Right,
the kids who are nervous or put the brakes on at the wrong time that are going to fall.
right. Yeah.
I think you could take us out of this slide because we could stay here another 20 minutes.
We could, and I never hit the brakes and we just rode right through. Why it matters, guys, if you don't rewrite your inner rules, you'll keep rebuilding the same cage, just with prettier
Ooh.
walls.
Ooh. Wow, that's good. Say that again.
If you don't rewrite the inner rules, you'll keep rebuilding the same cage, just with prettier walls. That's why I knew we could settle here for a long time because, guys, we're given challenges that we don't pass. We're getting levels that we are wanting to be taken to that we are not passing.
I'm going to give you a little thing about how powerful the mind is. I was listening to Joe Rogan, and they were talking about this scenario and how people do clinical trials and placebos. and nocebos and that whole thing about placebo and nocebo. And those of you in the health and wellness business or the pill and potion business, you got to understand about, placebo effect and things like that. And there was a guy who was in a clinical trial for a cancer drug, and he decided that he wanted to kill himself, and he took the entire bottle of the pills he was on for a clinical trial, and he was rushed to the hospital with extremely low blood pressure, and he basically went to commit suicide. When they tested him and they called the doctor whose prescription was on the bottle, and the doctor did the research, he told the toxicology people he's on the sugar pill.
Wow.
He's taking the placebo.
Wow.
Do you see how powerful the mind is? I took the other story about how people like the grandmother who the grandchild gets run over by a car, and the grandmother all of a sudden can lift the car off the kid,
Oh, for sure.
right? So there's so much of that around it. We hear all these stories, but we don't know how to harness tiny fractions of this for ourselves.
Mhm.
How our survival instinct, can be, our success instinct could be as strong as our survival instinct if you work on it. It's conditioning. It takes time. It's like learning how to meditate. I haven't meditated in a long time, and it takes me over a month of trying almost every other day to be able to get into that state. Are we going to make it through? We've got two more.
We will make it through. But this slide, guys, take a peek.
Powerful.
We are going to go deeper into all of these things on this
Right.
slide. But
Right.
we're going to also announce something coming up here, which is going to be super exciting.
Yeah, we got something coming, guys. Don't leave because we got something coming up. We're not trying to get you to stay, but we want to talk to you about Angel's got another whole training coming on that's going to tie into this stuff. So for the sake of leaving for a few more minutes, we're not going to charge you $3,000 for this training. We're going to charge you nothing. It's free, especially those of you watching on Facebook.
Right. The 1% rule, why boring consistency is your most explosive move. Paul and I talk about this all the time.
Go for boring. That's what we tell people.
Boring.
Go for boring. That's your goal.
But the compound effect is sexy. We threw in a really good word there when you understand that the most powerful growth looks unimpressive until it doesn't. And that really, guys, is the truth. You have to do the consistency, the boring, the I'm going to get up and I'm going to do the 3-6-9 like Paul says. I'm going to get up and I'm going to do the 5/5 like they train on, or whatever your team trains on, or whatever your daily DMO is, right? You're going to do that. Boring, 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 boring. It's not exciting. You don't wake up going, oh my God, I'm so excited to do all of this stuff. You really, really don't until
Right.
it's exciting. And that's
Listen, you go to the gym every single day. You don't feel good about getting up to going to the gym. You feel good when you come back, or you go good when you go
right.
to the beach and you're willing to take your shirt off.
Yeah.
That's when the payoff is, and it takes time, and it is a compound effect. Look, if you eat a McDonald's a Big Mac today, right, and you're in good shape, and you eat a McDonald's hamburger today, a McDonald's Big Mac, you'll be fine. You eat one tomorrow, today and tomorrow, you'll be fine. You eat one for the next week, you'll be fine. Do it for a month, see what happens. So the
Right.
compound effect not only works with positivity like exercise and daily methods of operation and phone calls and commitment to your business. And when we say boring is when you've done the same conversation 50 times. Now, there will be variables. That's why I talk about what are the goals of the person. I was talking to that girl, that woman, Michelle from Canada, that we're talking about over the weekend. And what did I say to her? She said that I said something about how most people, when they're talking to people, right, are really talking about what the business, how the business would benefit them, and not uncovering the problem of the prospect that they're talking to. And if you uncover the prospect that you're talking to, you're going to have different versions of your boring story. And the panic is most people won't ask questions and won't explore the needs of their prospect because they don't know what they're going to want to be able to say. But imagine doing this for long enough that no matter what they throw at you, you got a boring response, meaning you're going to deliver it with confidence. You're not going to stumble over your words. You're going to say it. Now, obviously, um, you're going to deliver it with a certain amount of energy because you're on the phone with someone. But when we say boring, we don't mean, oh, well, the compound effect is sexy when you understand that the most powerful growth looks on. No, boring is random access memory, knowing what you're going to say before you're going to say it, that you know that you know that you know. And all of a sudden, so that's what we mean by going for boring. Have it ready. Have it in your random access memory that if somebody says something, here's your response. Tailored to them. I do a training called the mama syndrome, where people tend to steer the conversation into things that they like talking about because they don't know how to answer the question that they were asked. And they run home to mama and talk about something that they know about. Hey, tell me about your comp plan. Well, hey, did you see the new product we just launched? I don't know. Did you hear the question I asked you? I want to know about your comp plan. Well, I can't talk about the comp plan. I could set up a later call, but let me tell you about the product. Go ahead, Angel.
Well,
Are you
and I think that, guys, if you're looking at the screen, I would encourage you to take a snapshot of the screen. Anyone can sprint for 7 days. Legends stack 1% daily moves until everyone asks how they did it so fast.
there? Right.
And we talked about that. Was it in our team call? I don't even know. But we were talking about the 1% more every single day. I think it was Empower
Sure.
Hour
It
last.
was Empower Hour,
Yeah.
the 1%.
The 1% more every single day, guys. What
Right.
if you just did that? 1% more every single day. It's not an overnight thing. It's not a magic thing. Nobody who created success in this industry is sitting there going, I didn't even know what I was doing. Everybody knew what they were doing, guys. They knew what they were doing. They just consistently did the boring things so much, and they still do it, and they teach their teams how to do it. The high level breakdown, I love this point here. Social media rewards visible sprints. Wealth is built on invisible deposits.
Right. So you can go and do your thing and do your duck lips and all of that stuff. But when you make these invisible deposits, when you're building a team, when you're giving people information, when you're truly devoted to, look, a lot of people do social media because they want attraction marketing. But what most people think of attraction marketing is, I don't have to talk to anybody. If I put this one post up and I point to this fancy thing, fancy product, my phone's going to like ring off the hook. Doesn't work that way. The wealth is built on those conversations, those trainings, those communication. I speak to 3 top networkers every day. Not that they're going to quit their business and join mine. Not that I'm going to quit mine and join theirs. I want to talk to them. I want to get insight. I want to develop new friendships, new relationships every single day. Those are the invisible deposits you make into your business. Well, Paul, why'd you waste an hour on the phone with this guy? He's been over at that company for 30 years. You know why? He's been over at that company for 30 years. I want to know why, I want to know how, and I want to be able to share that. And the more successful the person is, the more willing they're share. And the least successful they are, they want to be like, no, 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 no. I don't want to hear anything about your product. I don't want to hear anything about your company. I want to tell you how great my company is and how great my leadership is. And let me get my leader on the phone. That's fear.
Yeah.
They do this because they don't want to hear if maybe there's something better out there and they made the wrong choice, because they crossed the street with their eyes closed instead of waiting for the light to be green.
Ooh. That was a good quote there, Paul Capozio.
I'm bringing back some old shit from a long time ago. You know what's funny? Because on my other screen, I had up the YouTube channel. I'm like, oh, that was a good training back then.
That's
Back
good.
7 years ago, whatever. Yep.
That's really, really good. Guys,
Mhm.
if you're bored, you're doing it right. Be bored. You have to be bored. I promise you. I promise you, I wake up every single week being bored. There's some days where I'm really, really super excited and we have stuff going on, but most days I'm like, oh, Paul, oh, we're doing this. Oh, we're doing this. We have this call. We have that call. We have this call. I'm bored. Right? But we have
Yeah,
a
but also the dopamine, use dopamine. We had an argument. You were using the dopamine fix. So dopamine's on your mind lately. So I just wanted to point that out there. A little bit of an inside thing there, but
but But it's true, right? Like we have
Well, I
to.
know these are your trainings because you just were telling me about my dopamine addiction. So actually, you weren't telling me about it. You were kind of condemning me for it, but that's okay.
Oh, goodness gracious. The ones who win are playing the long game during everyone else's dopamine crash, guys. Truly.
And that's that social media thing, the hype. You're getting ready for convention. You want to win the tickets. You want to do all of those things because you need these stimulants to let you do the work for a short period of time. So you go back to that sprinting for 7 days or sprinting for 3 months because you want to get on the cruise or you want to go on the company trip instead of building a legacy business, getting to the top rank and making multiple seven figures.
Yeah.
The people who are willing to be patiently aggressive, I love patiently aggressive, are the ones who become unrecognizable in a year. I want to read that again. The people who are willing to be patiently aggressive are the ones who become unrecognizable in a year. Patiently aggressive is you're going to get on that phone, you're going to make those calls, you're going to talk with confidence, and you're going to do one more call, one more meeting, one more video you're going to send, one more contact you're going to make, one new connection you're going to start out with, one new conversation or exposure you're going to have or create.
Yeah.
That's patiently aggressive.
Yeah.
Okay, are the ones that will be unrecognizable in a year. And I talk to a lot of leaders, and there's a 7 year. There's a little bit of a people can do this business in 1 year or 7 years. That's what I've seen. That there's like a phenomenon, right? Even somebody is like John Melton. We were talking, and he's like, "Yeah, it took me 7 years, dude. Grind, 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 grind. In my seventh year, boom, it all popped for me." And there are people who do it in a year,
Mhm.
right? It's very fortunate. I was very, very lucky. I'm an anomaly. It doesn't, I was very, very, very fortunate. Okay. But it wasn't that I was given a leg or I wasn't given a team or wasn't given anything. I just didn't know any better. I literally, they talk about that phrase, ignorance on fire versus knowledge on ice. I couldn't spell MLM. And then just when they told me call people, call networkers, call everything. And one of my very first calls was one of the top networkers in the industry. I had no clue who he was. He even said, "You have no idea who I am, do you?" I said, "No," but they said, "You look like you're a big networker and I'm supposed to talk to networkers." It's the truth.
Yeah.
Okay. I like the consistency thing there with the key.
Thank you.
Very good.
We have seen this. The Almas, the Teresas, the Lisas, the Pegs, the people that we watch
The
do
Dannies
the Dannies.
responding instantly to a coaching or a training,
Yeah.
even if she may or may not have believed it. Okay. But when you build trust with your people, they're going to do the things that they need to do. Be their confidence until they can. I'm going through a family member's going through a very, very significant health crisis, very, very significant life or death health crisis, and it's my sister-in-law, my brother's wife. And, he said, "Dude, I don't know how I'm going to hold this together, whatever." It's really life and death. Okay. And I did that whole line about courage, right? God doesn't give you courage. He gives you things to be courageous, have courage for, or to be courageous about. Um, have your success instinct be as strong as your survival instinct, or at least half as strong, and you'll see how great you'll do in this business. Go ahead, Angel.
Vision that pulls you harder than excuses do, guys. We're going to actually go into, we talked about it last week.
Right.
We talked about leading you guys into a vision training, which we honestly thought was a little bit maybe, I don't know, beginner stage, right? Where we're like, oh, we don't need to train on that. We always want to be at this level and, be giving you guys this level, but we have to bring you to this level to lead you up to this level.
Right. Right.
So we're going to do a vision training. We're going to do that whole thing. That's what next week is going to be. And then we're going to ask you to submit your visions to us.
Right.
And then the next week, We're going to go through your visions and we're going to talk about it and we're going to critique it if you would allow us to.
Right. And have the guts to allow us to listen. It's not going to be anything bad. It's not going to be
No,
I mean, what could we
no, it's
possibly?
always positive for sure.
Right. So one of the things I wanted to say about a vision, well, go ahead, go through these things. We're running a little over,
Well,
but
we
I think
just
it's
say here,
interesting.
guys, when your vision is bigger than your excuses, you stop negotiating with mediocrity.
Right.
You cannot, like, there is no way that you can wake up in the morning and say that my vision is here and this is where I'm going, and then allow yourself to live in the space that you're living in. It doesn't happen. You start to live higher,
Hmm.
vibrate higher. You go into a different frequency. All of this stuff is real. And whether or not
Right.
you want it to be real or not, it happens. If your vision doesn't keep you up at night, your distractions will. Do you
Right.
lay awake at night excited about what you're going to wake up and do, who you're going to talk to, what strategy you're going to use, how your business is building? Or are you sitting there going, this didn't work, I'm stuck in this, this is happening to me, this is my circumstance? Do circumstances control you or does your vision pull you? Which one? Vision
Interesting.
isn't a dream board, it's a decision board. We're not going to tell you next week, guys, to cut out pictures from a magazine and do all of that stuff. If you want to, great.
I'll give you the best thing to have on your dream board, vision board, whiteboard, because I did mine on a whiteboard. Okay. And I think you did this too, Angel. You drew out your organization years ago, how big you wanted your organization to be. And then you went in a couple of years later, and that's what it was. And I remember I was training with Doug Firebaugh, years ago. And we were going through my back office, and I had a really big leg going, and I wrote 1,000,000 points a week or 1,000,000 points a month or whatever, $1,000,000 a month on the other side. And I had that up there well after I stopped training and everything. And I looked up one day and I'm like, holy crap, I just did $1,000,000 this month on that other side. You know what I mean? So, and now it's way bigger than that. So it's, you have to put those numbers up there and you see them every day. They'll come true. It's part of your manifestation.
It is.
I'd rather
Man,
see you put volume up there than a Ferrari up there, because with the volume, the vision becomes bigger. With the volume of your business growing, the dreams become bigger. The why becomes bigger. The why becomes stronger.
it does. Get emotional about your future, guys. Talk to your family about it. Feel it in your body. I can't say that enough. If there's one sentence from tonight that if you're not feeling it, if you're not doing it, if you're not um, feeling it move in your business, get emotional about your future, talk to your family about it, and feel it in your body. It doesn't matter if you wake up and you haven't talked to 5 people yet today. Feel it in your body. Feel that you have done that. Feel that you are going to do it. Feel it. Do the affirmations, do all of those things. Get so emotional about your future that you can't possibly not create what you're going towards, because your actual emotion doesn't allow you to detach yourself from that result.
So I put a post up on my stories the other day, and it was a warrior with a lion there, and we do a lot of lion pride stuff and everything. And it said, never show all your strength, just enough to be respected. When you're talking to your family, I want you to temper it a little bit. I want you to talk to them about what you're trying to do, but not your biggest vision, because in many cases, your big vision is going to be too big for most people. And if your big vision doesn't scare you or make it somewhat feel impossible, it's not big enough. It's just
Right.
not big enough, right? So what I'm going to tell you is, if your goal is to make an extra $500 a month, but your real goal is to make another $50,000 a month, tell your family about the 500. Tell them that you need your support about that. right? If you tell people you're going to get to the highest rank in the company and you haven't even reached the first rank yet, it's hard for them to be able to believe in you. But every time you achieve that new rank, every time you bring on a new customer, celebrate it, but have them celebrate it with you. Don't let them see the big picture a little bit. Let them just, reserve some of that just for you to drive you. But if you're not excited about it, you're not going to have the drive. And if you're not excited about it, why would they even become excited about it? I used to do this technique about if you were a salesperson and you couldn't get to the person who was making the decision, but you were talking to the gatekeeper, which could be the receptionist, or it could be the assistant, or it could be the vice president instead of the president of the company, you would have to build a cheerleader. And when you build a cheerleader, that cheerleader, you have to bring them up to such an energy level, because that energy level is going to die down. The excitement of that you build up in them is going to die down by the time they talk to the decision maker. So you have to bring them up so high that when you know their energy level is going to be in half when they deliver the message for you, it's still got to be energetic.
Yep.
So if you're not excited about it, no one else will be. Go ahead, Angel.
Love this last sentence, guys, and we'll close out here. Why it matters. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to the level of your vision and your standards. Recode both now.
It's the limit. Go
What?
ahead.
Go ahead.
No, no.
Go ahead.
It's the limit switch of your garage, right? In your garage door, there's a switch. You hit the button and the door goes up. When the door goes all the way up to a certain point, it's got to hit another switch, because if it goes beyond that, the door's going to run off the track. Same thing when the door goes down. It's got to hit another switch, right? Your vision are your limit switches. How high are you going to go? The lower you set, you ever get your garage door to go all the way down because something's in the way? The same thing with your vision, the same thing with your standards. Where are you setting those limits? They got to be fine-tuned, and then you want that door to open wider and wider and wider each time. So you set those limits and you constantly readjust them.
Yeah. Yeah, and you really do, guys. And you have to decide for yourself what's acceptable to you. It's not anybody else. The reason we do these trainings, and the reason that we're saying to you, it's all mindset, it's 90% mindset, it's 10% success strategies, systems, all of that stuff. You have the tools.
You have it all already.
Is your tool working for you? Do you believe that you could 10 times what's going on for you in your business right now? Do you believe that you deserve it? Do you believe that you could cast this vision for people to want to join you? Do you believe it? I didn't believe it. 13 years ago, I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it at all. I had to learn. And that's what we're here for, is to say to you guys, we're building right now. We know what you're feeling. We know what you're going through. We want you to have a quicker track to success than we did. And maybe not Paul. He's an anomaly. Whatever.
No. It's, yeah, but I'm not saying it's easy. I had my ups and downs and stuff like that too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The minute I started to learn the business is the minute my business started to slow down. The minute when I didn't know anything is when nothing stood in my way.
Right. Right.
You know?
Because you had belief.
Yep. That's all I had.
Yeah.
I had no knowledge. I just had belief.
Just belief. Yeah. So guys, we're gonna next week, I'll stop this share. I hope you took the screenshots, guys. That was honestly some of those. I was, like I said, I was like, Paul, we could go an hour on this slide. We could go an hour on the other slide.
Yes.
I knew
I don't know if they want to. We can. I don't know if they want to.
There was so much goodness in there though, and we just want to pour that out into you guys. But next week, let's just go into vision. Let's do a very, not basic, I'm going to say a more high level vision training.
Right.
I'm not going to be telling you to pull out your vision board and cut out stuff in a magazine. If you want to do that, that's great. But we're going to be talking about what a vision actually looks like, feels like, tastes like, smells like.
Well, we talk about vision is one of also the 5 pillars in picking a company. When we tell people like to evaluate a company or where they want to evaluate the company at,
Yeah.
vision, what's the company vision? And then what's your vision on top of it,
Yeah.
you know?
And then the next week, so we're going to ask you to do your homework, submit to us your visions, and then
Right.
we're going to read those out the next week. And we're going to actually, talk about not, we're not going to call you out, not by name, but just say, this is something that stood out to us, or this is a way you could change this, or, this was amazing because you feel this. I feel the emotion. You're pulling me to your vision. That's what a vision is. If
Right.
Paul is telling me his vision, I should be pulled to it. I should be like, "Ooh, tell me more."
Even when you're talking about your business, if your vision's not coming through, no one's going to say yes.
Yeah,
It's more important than your product.
it is. It is. We have so much going on, guys. So many different companies, products, new things, old things, all of those things. But we're going to go back a little bit old school. Let's
Right.
do a little bit old school for August. And
I think it's time to say goodnight. We're 18 minutes over.
all right. All right.
We
We
were going
are
to call it, I didn't really get a good night's sleep last night, and we're going to call it Empower Half Hour tonight, but actually we wound up going 18 minutes over. We love you guys very much. Angel, I'll let you take us out.
absolutely, guys. We love you so much. Come back next week, invite people, come back with a little bit of a plan for a vision. We're going to do that training, and we're so excited to hear
You
from
know,
you.
maybe what we should do is people should go into Lion Pride Academy Facebook page, and if you're not in there, we'll show you how to join that. I don't even know how to do it, but and then maybe we'll put guidelines for crafting your first vision without the training.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Love you
Good night,
guys.
guys. Good night. Like my
Good
Hawaiian
night.
shirt tonight.
Love it.
All right. Bye bye. I hate it. Bye.